Welcome back to the Retirement Income Show. I'm your host, Wes Wood, and today we're talking about you facing your biggest retirement fears. We talked about the first fear many people have, and that's answering the question, can I retire? Now let's talk about another scary retirement question, can I maximize Social Security? You know, Social Security is supposed to be a source of comfort, but as you approach or enter into retirement, scary questions begin to emerge. Questions like, is Social Security even going to be there for me? Will I know the right time to start taking my benefits? How is Social Security going to affect my income taxes? And will I get the most out of Social Security that I'm entitled to? Let's begin with the first question. Will Social Security be there for you? Well, the short answer is yes. The long-term answer is probably. Because it's true that the ratio of retired baby boomers to younger workers has definitely put a strain on the Social Security Trust Fund in recent years especially. But it's also true that the fund is still operating at a surplus, a small surplus, but a surplus. And at this point, there's enough reserves to be able to pay 100% of your promised benefits through the year 2034. But after that, benefit reductions are going to be necessary unless Congress acts to fix the program. But there's already some bills that Congress is talking about aimed at doing just that, restoring the solvency of the system. And it's highly likely one of these will pass. But even if one does pass, and you do get 100% of your payouts from Social Security, most people come to realize is that Social Security isn't enough income for you to really retire on comfortably. That's why it's so important to consider benefits in relation to other sources and all sources of your retirement income. Your sources like 401ks, IRAs, pensions, and of course, employment income if you do plan on continuing to work some while you're somewhat retired. When you factor in all these things together, you realize Social Security can actually serve as a model for your whole retirement strategy. Why is it a model? Because it's a secure source of income you can depend on for your life. And the trick is to allocate your other assets in the same way that makes them the same thing, secure sources of income that you cannot outlive. And the same thing is true, you must get the most you can from Social Security. And we can help you with that at my company, Wood Financial Group. Visit me at retiretv.com and get your free personalized Social Security analysis. You can also give us a call anytime at 855-776-0614 and request your Social Security analysis. Now that leads us to the next scary question about retirement. When is the best time to start collecting your Social Security? You probably already know this, but you can begin anywhere between the age of 62 and 70 years old. And typically, the longer you wait, the more that you're going to get. But it's not that simple at all. That question, the answer to that question depends on several different factors unique to your own situation. Factors like, what's your health status, your marital status, life expectancy, what are your goals in retirement, and again, all your other sources of retirement income. So the best way to analyze all those different factors and get the right answer, how do you do this? The best way to do it is you want to work with an advisor, a financial advisor who specializes in retirement income. Because what they can do is help you figure out not only the best time for you to start taking Social Security, but how to maximize your benefits in every possible way. And we can help you maximize your Social Security benefits with your personalized analysis. Visit me at retiretv.com to request yours, or give me a call at 855-776-0614 anytime to request your personalized Social Security analysis. Now let's bring back my guest, David Scranton. Hey Dave, thanks for sticking around and joining us.
Of course. So I get it. If you're single, it could be complicated enough because you have to factor in your personal income needs when you retire, your own expected longevity based upon your current health, which is, there's always a guess factor there, of course, right? As well as longevity of family members. But that gets exponentially more difficult, at least the decision as to how to maximize those benefits when you're married, correct?
You got that right. I mean, when somebody is single and has generally an idea about how long they're going to live, determining which is the best way to take Social Security becomes much more simple. But when somebody's married, we need to include factors like spousal benefits and even survivor benefits, because especially if there's a difference in ages between spouses, because it's not just about me, it's also about my wife. And it's not just about her, it's also about me. So we need to coordinate our benefits to get the very most for our family and for whichever one of us happen to live a lot longer.
Now, is that why you've told me in the past that I personally should wait till age 70 before I take Social Security?
That's right. I'm glad you were listening, Dave, because you and Teresa, there's quite the age difference there. You definitely robbed the cradle, and one way to get much more benefits from her in the event that you pass away is because you're going to get more Social Security benefits. But when you pass away, she's going to get the greater of the two amounts. So in that event, it makes more sense for you to wait to make sure she gets maximum income from Social Security during her lifetime as well.
Makes sense. Rob the cradle, heck, there's only 7 years difference, Wes. Come on. I'm in southern Florida. The average age difference is usually 20 years between spouses down where we are.
Well, it's a little different down there. That's right.
One of the things that I find that's most confusing to people when you're talking about Social Security is they get confused between determining when they might be subject to a reduction of benefits versus when they might be subject to a taxation of benefits. So do you care to clarify that a little bit?
Yes, that's definitely confusion. There's two completely separate things. Reduction in benefits has to do if you take Social Security before your full retirement age, and if you make too much in the form of wages, earned income, work income that you get from having a job and getting a paycheck. It's not seeing a reduction in benefits from unearned income, like distributions from retirement accounts, for instance, or pensions, or rental income, which is deemed unearned income. That's reduction in benefits, called the annual earnings test. However, taxation of benefits is totally different, where you'll have to pay perhaps more income taxes on your Social Security if you just have too much, if you have a certain amount of income, adjusted gross income that goes over certain things like provisional income threshold, which is a little more complicated than we want to jump in today, but they are definitely two different things.
And that's part of the reason why you have sophisticated software that you've invested in your office, where, as you said a moment ago, people want to call your office to learn how to maximize their Social Security. In fact, I think you have Rachel in charge of that, if I remember correctly. Yep. That's really who's really your dedicated Social Security specialist.
That's correct, and we've already probably spent thousands of dollars on this software, so I'm always encouraging clients that, hey, you don't need to go spend thousands of dollars to run this software one time. Work with an income specialist, work with us, we can run it for you for no cost and tell you, out of all the different rules and combinations, which ones to choose to get the very most from the Social Security Administration. But thank you, Dave, and hey, coming back after the break, we're going to tackle another big retirement fear, and that's the rising cost of health care. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.